Before we get started with today's podcast, we'd like to ask returning listeners to leave us a rating or review on your favorite podcast platform, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really enjoy it, share a link to this podcast with friends or family who would enjoy hearing our weekly discussions about basketball and basketball culture. Now, on to the show.
Yeah, isn't it amazing when Michigan can keep this game to a 19-foot, 9-inch game inside that three-point line? It's all there. Nice move by Steve Fisher here. Turn it into the 19-9 game.
Welcome to the 99 Podcast by HBS. I'm Josh Barnett, and I am joined today with the usual group of Dan Woods and Aaron Meyer. But we also have a special guest today, which is Ian Stonebrook, our buddy, checking in from Austin, Texas.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Oh, doing great. How y'all doing?
The Lone Star State.
Can't complain. We finally got Dan's microphone working, which took us how long? 10 minutes or so?
I was nervous I was getting the boot. I was doing everything to make sure I didn't get the boot.
Like, I'm so nervous I was so nervous for you. I'm sweating my ass off right now.
I blame the AirPods
Good.
Pro.
Well, Ian, we appreciate you joining us. We got everybody down here, or not down here. We're all on Skype because of the quarantine. How you holding up down there in Austin?
I got to be honest, it's not really that different for me. Like working remote, working freelance, my life is kind of already without like alarm clocks and bedtimes and, I'm already, I'm kind of built for it. I mean, I miss playing 5-on-5. I miss hanging out with friends, miss going out on dates. But other than that, I'm just entertaining myself at home.
Sounds like you should never get married.
Yeah, exactly.
Never get married. I think I'm on track, so I think we'll be all right.
I did notice that you were probably had different sleeping in habits than I did when I texted you at around 8 o'clock this morning. I didn't hear back from you till about 12:30 or so.
Those sound like those.
12:30 Austin time. I caught up on some rest. Yeah, no kiddos at the crib, so nobody waking me up. I was sleeping good.
That's what I was going to say. Those no kiddo hours, Barnett.
Meyer's in the same boat as you, and he always gives us shit for us having to take care of a small village that we had a part in creating.
Yeah.
All right. So since we got you on the pod, I wanted to get into it a little bit with you, and you and I had chatted back and forth a little bit on through text, and kind of how we wanted to, or where we wanted to go with this, where we wanted to take it. You were nice enough to join us. You said you would be nice enough to join us again, although I think Dan probably ruined that already. But we eventually wanted to get into just basketball trends down the line. But and I know you and I were talking about that. But I really wanted to tell your story first. So I wanted to introduce you to our audience, introduce you to our guys here, Dan and Aaron, get to know a little bit about you, and then take it from there and come back maybe a little bit later and really get into some of the details. So give me the Ian Stonebrook basketball origin story.
Actually, the Ian Stonebrook basketball origin story begins not far from where you're at. It was actually at Indiana Beach.
All right.
Yeah, Indiana Beach, probably like, I guess it would have been somewhere in 1995, 94, 95. I'm out there with my mama and papa, and it's the Donnelly Picnic. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Donnelly Printing Press out of Crawfordsville, Indiana. That's where my papa worked. And like, basically every summer, one weekend, I guess they have like all the former current employees out there that like rent out Indiana Beach. And we'd like get the camper out there and stuff. And my cousin Ty, that's how we know each other, he gave me his Hakeem Olajuwon Rockets jersey because he just got a Shaq one. And he's like, I don't need this anymore. So I was like, oh, this is like, from then on, I was just like all about hoops. Like that was literally like it's funny to say spark because we were probably at like a bonfire or something like that. But that was what set it off. So like from probably like 94, 95 to like maybe like 90. I guess it must not have taken that long. I guess let's say like 93 and 94 to like 96. Every year was like playing catch up to Ty at Christmas. So he'd get like the IU starter jacket. I got to get that now. And then I'd like get it the next Christmas, and then he'd be like have the Orlando Magic one or something. And like it took a little while till I was like, okay, like I can't just like circle in the East Bay what he already got. I'm gonna be a year late.
Right.
So started going to hoops camp, starting to get really into it because I know by 96 I got the Kobe rookie jersey. So that's when I was like, all right, I have a little bit of a mind of my own. I'm not just like, totally following him.
Are you still have the jersey?
Shoot, no, that one I don't. Like I had so many jerseys growing up that like whenever there was like high school basketball season, there'd be like a theme and it'd be like jersey, like, fans in the crowd wear jerseys. I'd like outfit the whole student section. So
I feel like Ty deserves his own little segment here. He deserves his own little shout out.
Oh yeah.
He's the one that connected us. And it was just after a golf round here in Evansville. And he was just like, so what do you do? Or I think my brother-in-law, who he works with, Wingert, was telling him, like, yo, this is the dude that owns 99. And he was like, well, what's 99? What do you guys do? And he was like, dude, my cousin would love this shit. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, who's your cousin? Da-da-da-da, talking. He's like, oh, his name's Ian. He was like, I'm going to call him. Let me call him real quick. And I'm like, no, that'd be cool. Like, call him. I'll talk to him, whatever. And he was like, you might know him. It's Ian Stonebrook. And I'm like, the dude from Nice Kicks? Like, question mark? And he's like, yeah, you know him? I'm like, no, I read his shit, but I don't know him. So he gets you on the phone, and we talk for like a minute, and you're like, dude, I'm real sorry. I'm going to catch up with you, but I'm at the Travis Scott, it was the Jordan 4, I think, kickoff party.
Houston, yeah, with the Pro-Am.
Yeah, so then I like hang up. I'm kind of like half drunk because we just played in like a golf scramble too, and I'm like, I don't even know who I text or who I call. Or maybe it might have been Wingert as we were walking out of there. I'm like, did you know Ty's cousin is Ian? He was like, who's that? And I'm like, it was like a big deal to me. So that was like that's how we kind of hooked up or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember being there because like. I just have like a grandeur imagination. So I'm like, oh, it's a basketball game. Like maybe I'll get to play. So like in my mind when I'm driving, I think it was me and my buddy Darren, who used to be at Nice Kicks too. We're driving out to Houston for it. Or no, maybe it was me and Gabe. I don't know. It's some combination of us. And I'm still in my head thinking like, yo, I might get to like play ball with like Travis and Chase, like, which is totally not the thing at all. Not at all how it goes. It's like Houston's best like Pro-Am players. And, I guess if I would have played in a tournament the next fall, my buddy George's Keel colon cancer tournament, I would have got to play with her against some of them. But so I'm sitting there and like Ty's blowing me up and I'm like, Ty pretty much only calls me like when something serious happens. So I'm like, oh shit.
Right.
Like, I'm always going to answer for Ty, but I'm like, damn, like something bad happened or whatever. And he's like, dude, you got to talk to my buddy Josh right now. I'm like, that's cool. I'm kind of busy right now, but I know Ty's actually, that's why I chose the Khalid El-Amin jersey. I mean, Ty was, Ty's probably the reason I was fat growing up because I always wanted to be like Ty so much.
There it is.
Now that Ty's skinny,
he's pretty out there on the golf course, though. He's pretty.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Yeah, he used to. I would say he used to beat up on me when we were little, but I think I'd whoop his ass now. But
hell yeah, we could set that up.
Oh man.
Yeah, that could be a live stream, maybe like a fundraiser.
All right, so real quick, shout out Ty. He'll love that. Hopefully he listens to this. We'll text him when we're done here and tell him he has to listen to it. But let's get back to the origin story there. So growing up, you're talking about growing up playing ball. High school, give us a rundown. Where'd you go? Did you play ball? What'd you do in high school?
Let's get right to it. So Okemos High School, went to state finals,
Nice.
and I was very much not on the team. I got cut. I got cut in like 7th and 8th grade back-to-back years, and that just like fucking crushed me. Like, no doubt about it. I mean, I had football, so I had other things. And even when I was playing football, I was wearing like Jordan cleats and like
There you go.
Nike Air Mission retros and stuff. And, you know, it was actually, it's funny. The game time Uncle Dwayne was supposed to come up with senior night, and I just got benched in football, so I was like, yo, don't even come up. I ended up getting back in that game, and I got an interception, almost got a pick six. So I was like,
Nice.
Jordan 14 cleats. But yeah, in hindsight, we had a hell of a team. My buddy Jonathan Jones, who is our quarterback in football and our point guard on the basketball team, led the NCAA in assists at Oakland University.
Wow.
The younger brother, the girl I took to my senior prom, Travis Bader, broke J.J. Redick's college three-point record.
Jeez.
Yeah, so those are just guys that, like, we had 2 or 3 guys who went to high school who played for Michigan State, and there was countless cats on the bench who could do some things. So,
Sure.
yeah, I mean, it was it was both a gift and a curse. You know, I mean, to not have that as like a part of growing up at the time sucked, but I think it was honestly a good lesson, because it's like, man, the great thing about ball is like you can always play. So
Sure.
there was always pickup runs, and it kind of conditioned me to. It was always fun, you know. So even like an adult, I play. I mean, when there's not a pandemic going on, I play probably 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
With the pandemic going on, I'm still shooting every day.
You hear
And
that,
it's-
Barnett? You need to start playing.
Well, I'm getting too fat, man. I'm getting too fat.
Those 100 makes in a day.
You know
yeah.
what's interesting? So something that you said that's super interesting, because we were just out in New York and we talked to Mr. Throwback, did a podcast with him, and did a podcast with you would love Mr. Throwback. I don't know if you know him or
good,
him.
yeah. Yeah, great guy.
Huge energy, man. He was the perfect cure for the pandemic blues down there. But we talked to him, and then we talked to the Slam guys too. And so Adam Figman.
Adam.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, great dude. But so both Adam and Mike, Mr. Throwback, you know, they had similar stories. So they were cut from their teams or never played in their high school teams for whatever reason. But what you said was basketball kind of you can always find a game. You can always stay connected to it. It doesn't matter if you're on the team or not. And that's kind of how basketball is different to me. It's this like growing, organic, living thing that there's no like one path that you have to take. You don't have to play on your high school team. You don't have to star. You don't have to be a stud in college. You don't have to do shit. You can still love the game though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think it just in hindsight kind of made that love grow more. You know, I mean, there was definitely times away from it. And I mean, one of the best things, honestly, about being a writer is getting to travel around the world and playing these media games. Like,
Sure.
that's the coolest shit in the world, to be like playing in a media game with like Filet and all the like Jelly Fam dudes from Jersey. Like,
Yeah.
you find out real quick what you're good at and what you're not. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's like, all right, I can still bring the ball to the court or push it a little bit, but a bump in the paint from somebody in Jersey is a little different than Austin. That shit, but you know, then you pick up different stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely I mean, kind of to parallel golf. You know, you can play it or love it or interact with it your whole life. Like, I loved football, but like, I don't really watch the NFL like that anymore. You know, I don't, I played on maybe like a few intramural or like co-ed teams or stuff like that, but hoops is different, man.
Baseball and football have like a shelf life. So it's not like I can hop in my car and drive down my neighborhood and just hop into a pickup football game or a pickup baseball game. You know what I mean? But I can find a goal. I can find a playground. I can find people playing. I can set that up. You know what I mean? And hoops is a little bit different. So coming out of high school, you end up where? Where'd you go college-wise? You're a Michigan State guy?
I am, yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
1990
I'll see you
connection.
guys later.
Yeah, so I went to Michigan State. I grew up about 5-10 minutes away from the campus.
Okay.
I was a huge Michigan fan growing up. Like a lot of that is like my buddy Tony, who was like really got me into like hoops on another level. You know, his parents were from Sri Lanka and Ecuador. They met in New York, so they're big like Knicks fans, like Georgetown, all that. I mean, I know Georgetown's not New York, but like East Coast type stuff. But he was also a Michigan fan, so I was a huge Michigan fan growing up, like Jamal Crawford, Lewis Bullock, Tractor Trailer, Robbie Reed.
Ooh, let's go.
Now you're talking to Dan here. Dan's loving this. We can't see him on video, but he's loving it.
Oh my gosh, that is my language.
Michigan's my second favorite team to Michigan State. Like, you know, I still will wear like a Tractor Trailer jersey, and people, you know, I can like both. Like, I do. You know what I mean? Like, I went to MSU's basketball camp growing up, so like, I had like lunch with Mateen Cleaves when I was like 10 years old and stuff, and you know, asking Eric Snow if he's gonna be throwing a bunch of alley-oops to Larry Hughes this season and stuff.
Because he sure as shit wasn't shooting.
Oh no, yeah. Actually, I hit two free throws in the Breslin to send my team into overtime at Izzo camp. And did not play it on overtime. And that was those camps were great because, like, I mean, in hindsight, like that's when you really see what's out there. You know what I mean?
Right, for sure. Some of our fondest memories, all of us, we either did a podcast, Meyer, or a blog over it, was just basketball camp stories, and I mean they're hilarious. But they're so much fun. Like some of our fondest memories, you know.
It's like the first time, right? Your first time of freedom as a kid. You're like, I got to stay away somewhere with a bunch of random people.
For sure. And I was blessed that like my last camp as a kid was like 8th grade. And I went to Alma basketball camp, which Alma's like a small college in Michigan. And I'm trying to think. So like in dorms, I remember my buddy like gets woken up at like 3 a.m. because his roommate's like trying to learn how to sea walk to Welcome to Atlanta and like
Yes.
all this nonsense and stuff like that. But it was a great exit because like I played really good at the camp. I led the whole division I was in assist. And like the kind of bittersweet thing was all other 4 starters made all-star game and I didn't. So I was like, oh fuck, like, you know, you gotta love to the, like I won some award or whatever. And like people were like introducing me to their parents, but I was like, I always wanted to play in an all-star game just cause like, especially, I mean, that's the whole like.
That's why, fuck, I want that recognition, man.
Oh, hell yeah, I want to show out, just do like wild stuff. So my lifetime career goal is to play in the NBA celebrity game. So
yeah,
damn.
You know, you know, now I'm on. You know, it's but
I would think after appearing on this podcast, it can only help.
Yeah, no, I'm probably first ballot now.
Tell people about us, please. Have them like and subscribe, right, Meyer?
100%.
Make sure
text your neighbor.
On the neighbor note, I just had neighbors move back door to where I live. My neighbor's name is Sam Perkins.
What?
Big Smooth?
Big Smooth.
Yeah.
That's
I
hilarious.
love it.
You can't beat that.
From New York, yeah.
So you're at Michigan State. Do you major in journalism?
So I was gonna major in journalism. All I knew when I got to Michigan State is that like I wanted to play basketball, the IM, and I wanted to go to parties. So I was in between journalism and business. And I took one journalism class, like it was cool, you know, I did pretty well. And right around that same time, it's my freshman year, I run into this dude, Teddy Newton, I think. I'm blanking on his last name, but who I went to high school with, who was a year older. And I'm like, man, how's journalism going? Because I knew he was really into like, he was like school paper in high school, was a good golfer, like was already like wanting to be a sports writer at like probably 10 years old. And he's like, man, you know, not so good. It's funny because this is probably like right in front of like Duffy Doherty building. He's like, I've had to cover John L. Smith getting fired. And I've seen how it's affected his family. And it's just really tough. And I'm like, man, I'm compassionate, empathetic to a fault. So I was like, shit, that ain't for me for sure then.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing marketing, and then I get a journalism job, and so did he. So I guess that shit was meant to be.
Interesting. So
like,
can you take us through that? So you don't go to school for journalism, but you end up at Nice Kicks. Before we get to Nice Kicks, what was in between that? So coming out of Michigan State, did you work anywhere else, or did you just start right away with Nice Kicks? What's the story?
So when I was in when I was in college, I worked for a sporting goods store, and I worked for my buddy's asphalt company, McCurney Asphalt.
Okay.
And that was mostly because I got like in trouble early on in college, like some drinking stuff, and I was just like, well, shit, I might as well work I can't go out with my friends right now or whatever. So, but anyway, like I'm getting, you know, it was a blessing in disguise. I'm finally like getting good, like really good grades for the first time in my life. You know, doing well in all my courses, and, you know, doing like volunteer stuff and like putting together a pretty nice resume. So, my junior year of college, I'm a marketing major. I'm living with some buddies, and I'm applying for all these internships. And I only want to do something like sports, or like I go to a career fair and I'm like, I'm not trying to talk to like Whirlpool. Like I don't, I'm reasonably.
You could have lived in Evansville, man, if you would have got on at Whirlpool.
Yeah.
We could have been doing this in person.
Damn. I mean, I'm relatively passionate about hot tubs, and I've had to sell a few of their appliances over Facebook Marketplace to.
But real talk, like hot tubs are sweet though. Like hot tubs are legit.
Yeah, I'm trying to get one. I think I might get an inflatable one.
So you and Sam Perkins can sit back here.
Yes. Talk North Carolina.
You'll be the Josh Rosen of your apartment complex.
That would be lit. Yeah, me and SP. But so anyway, like I'm applying to all these internships, and I'm hearing like no or nothing from everybody. Actually, the one company I actually had a chance with was the Indiana Pacers, and I had a call with them like one morning or whatever. And the girl that I went to the career fair with, who lived kitty corner, who I liked, we were supposed to hang out the night before, and she like ghosted me till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and like never hung out. So I'm just like, I just bombed the shit out of my interview. and I'm just like, all right, you know, like, well, I'm just going to take summer classes, you know, like have my first summer in East Lansing, like living in a house with friends, not being back home. And then I'm on Nice Kicks, and it was a site I frequented, and they're like, we're looking for interns. And it's like a Uncle Sam poster like type thing. And I was like, shot him a writing sample, thought nothing of it. And then it's like finals time. I'm in the library, and I get a call from a 512 number. And I still remember I'm wearing like a Nike Alpha Project shirt, like 06 Team USA Nike shorts. And like,
Nice, I have a pair of those.
Yeah, white or navy?
Navy.
Oh, those are the ones. Yeah, my buddy Andy has those. I got the white ones. And and like OG like Jordan 20s. And I get a call, and it's 512 number, which I don't know Austin's area code at the time. In Lansing, Michigan's 517, so it's like real close. And it's Matt, you know, founder of Nice Kicks, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to come down to Austin this summer to intern for Nice Kicks?" And I'm like, maybe. You know, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. So I was like, you know, let me think it over. I'll hit you back. End up basically going on like a recruiting trip where like the whole staff just like takes me out, or like all the young guys at the time. So like George Keel, Nick Engvall, Peter Sim, Greg Grovey. That was it. So there's like 4 full-time guys, and then Matt Allison, the bosses. But all the writers like take me out on 6th Street, get me drunk, Yeah, like the next morning, like some like hungover meeting at Panera Bread, and I like got all these ideas. So I'm like, all right, Austin's cool, but I'm staying in like a hotel off the highway, and I just have no reference. I'm like, man, Austin kind of sucks. Like, there's nothing to do. It's all highways because I just don't know the city at all. I'm like literally right next to like the coolest part of town. And my buddy Brad Pimble, who's actually with the Astros now, my roommate, other best friend from high school, I'm on the phone. He's like, bro, you got to do this. Like, this is your chance. So I was like, all right, end up doing it. Intern that summer. And like the first month, like it's cool. Like, I mean, in hindsight, it was the best like summer setup either. There's like 6 interns. They got us all like, I mean, you know, every college has like a university village crossing, you know, big old apartment complex that's like all college kids, like a pool, a basketball court, a weight room. And we only got to work like 3 days a week for like 6 hours a day. So I'm playing hoops like in the middle of Texas summer. I remember I got a sunburn so bad. I was like calling like the hospital, and they're like, yeah, don't go back in the sun. And I was like, oh, okay, my bad.
And they like hang up and they're like, another dumb northerner calling coming down here.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'm doing all this stuff and I'm thinking I'm doing really good, but I'm not really getting a lot of feedback. So I was like considering bouncing. And my dad's like, yo, like cream rise to the top, stay with it. Like we're out one night for my buddy Peter's birthday. He's like telling me all this stuff about like he used to work for so he interned for the Fader Fort before, or Fader magazine, and for Dame Dash for the website Block Savvy.
Wow.
But like he works for C3 now, great dude. And he's telling me all these stories about like, oh yeah, like everything Kanye's talking about on Big Brother is like real. I know like Biggs and Burke and stuff. And I'm like, to a kid at that age, I'm like, yo, this guy knows the like people that know Kanye, like this is
right.
Like coming the next morning, we're kind of been out of shape from a night out. And Matt's like, hey, these Flu Game 12s, the black and red suede ones that they did with like the emojis, like, man, I think people are messing up, you know, calling them the flu games or whatever. Like, you know, it's kind of a weak shoe at the time or whatever. It's like, I want you to go back and like, look at all Michael Jordan's games in the 12. So he like taught me how to go on Getty Images. And I basically go through every game Mike ever played, 96, 97 season, and like highlight all the best games, stats, and do all these write-ups. It ends up taking off. It's like circulated internally like Jordan and Slam. And essentially that's how I got like hired. Because at the time, I was like there were like 6 interns. And I was like 1 of 2, like me and my boy Trip, where it's like somehow we just kind of fell into the back of the line. I don't really know how, but it's just how it was. So interned, came down for the store opening, eventually got offered a full-time job, and just wrapped up 10 years. It was a good run. It was fun.
Wow.
That's dope. So something I've always wondered about Nice Kicks is, are all you guys pretty much freelancers there? Is there a certain group that is always there, or you guys just out on your own? Is there office space that you guys occupy? Like, how does that work? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, it's definitely over a decade. It evolved a lot, but pretty much from the jump, the whole idea is like Matt Allison really wanted us to have an office so that people could get together and collaborate. You know what I mean? Which was really a really awesome idea. And from 2009 to 2014, it was like that. We had an office, all worked together. Then eventually they went out to California to grow the business that way and also sold our retail. So it kind of turned everything to remote then. Over the next 4 to 5 years, we were back in office for a period about a year ago. Some kind of different things happened and eventually ended. But for the first half of the decade, it was all out of the office.
I always wondered that because I would read the articles religiously on your guys' site. You guys and Soul Collector are my 2 like go-tos. But I'd always noticed that the writers were from different areas. So that's kind of how I didn't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No, absolutely. Yeah. So like original Nice Kicks team, like George from Houston, Peter's from Houston, Nick Ingvall's from Sacramento, Greg Roby from Dallas. And then after that, I mean, we had people from Pierce Simpson from Austin, Alex Kroviak from Dallas, my boy Jordan Howenstein, who's with the Spurs now, from Lansing, Michigan as well. And then, I mean, there was a time where I was managing people remote from literally Harlem to London. So, yeah. But it was definitely pretty Texas heavy in terms of staff we've had.
So my question for you is, like, have you always been a big shoe guy, or when did you become a shoe guy? Because, like, shoe guys, Nice Kicks is like our outlet, right? Like, and some people have no idea, but like shoe people, it's not like people just hop in a shoe. Like, you either jump in or you're out. Like, there's no in between.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it all comes back to Ty. Like, so Ty was, I mean, my Aunt Sally, thank God for her, because she put the pressure on my mom real hard unintentionally, because Sally got Ty everything. I mean,
that's why he acts the way he acts.
Yeah, I'm not the only child. He's very spoiled. Yeah, Ty had all the Jordans, all the Barclays. I mean, not like everything. Actually, a funny story is it would have been like 97, and a new East Bay comes in where our Mama and Papa's, and we're like, oh shit, like the 13s were just coming out, all this other stuff. But our parents are like, yo, you just got new shoes like 4 months ago. You can't get new shoes till they're worn out. So we go to the basement of my Mama and Papa's, where we used to like do the phone and, dial like 1-800-HOT-BABE and like laugh at like and stuff. They got a treadmill in there. So we put the treadmill to like 10 or 15, the highest it go. And we got like our like more up tempos and like maybe for me, like good shoes. And we put them up to the edge of the treadmill to try to wear them out.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's amazing. There's a lot worse shit you could have been
That's
doing
such a
than
kid
trying
thing.
to work.
Yeah, absolutely. Spoiled kid thing. But yeah, so I mean, that's around that same time, like I got the Reebok Shacknosis, like when I was in Indiana, and like my mom like set it up where like, oh yeah, me and your sister just got back shopping and she got new shoes, and she like opens up the box. I'm like, oh no, those are mine. But yeah, shoes were always a constant. Like, even like getting cut from the hoop team, like I was still into sneakers. Even in like high school, like, I mean, I definitely had like ebbs and flows of like friend groups. So like when like maybe my friends got into like some stuff that I knew my parents would whip my ass for, I was like, well, like Nike Talk was kind of like my anti-drug. Like as funny as that sounds, and it's like wild because like I'd read all the stuff that like, Nick DePaula, Soul Collector, ESPN now, would like write, because just like as a fan, just as like a kid who was like, I don't know, either in high school in Sacramento then or at school at Oregon and like learning stuff. And like Nick was here all last week just chilling because we didn't have anything to do because of Corona. So it's wild how it goes. But yeah, no, that time definitely like that's how I probably got like super obsessive and yeah, it just kind of became an encyclopedia on that type of stuff.
So getting back to Nice Kicks real quick, because I do want to get further into your shoe game here in a minute. But getting back to Nice Kicks, what was like the major perk of that job, having that job? What was your favorite thing, the thing that you're gonna miss the most about not being around?
Oh shoot, free trips, man. No doubt. Yeah, like.
Do you have a favorite trip from your time there?
Yeah, I got a few, but like for sure, probably the best was last summer, Jordan Brand Fashion Week in Paris, Fashion Week in College. So yeah, I flew out like it was like late July.
Was that court that was by the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, y'all would love going to something like that because.
Yeah, we didn't get invited to that one.
Come on, Barnett.
I don't know unless
that's a bullshit.
I'm working on some ways to get back out there. This will actually probably won't even happen with all that's going on. But It was sick because everybody at Kai 54 in the stands, to include myself, was wearing basketball jerseys. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm all for the like frat guy, like white boy ironic jersey at a music festival or like Rush Week. Like I got a sense of humor that's cool, but like everybody's really wearing it because they're really fans.
Yeah,
you know, like other than Barbosa played. Other than that, there's no like, you know, but like it was just really cool to see the way they love basketball out there. But like saw Michael Jordan in person, like I damn near cried. Like I bet. Yeah, like just because, you know, I've seen Kobe in real life and I've met, you know, I don't know, met or interviewed pretty much everybody but those guys and LeBron, you know. But it was still like, man, this guy's really real. Like
who is it? Is it Barkley that he always describes? He's like, listen, I've been around celebrities my whole life. Michael Jordan, just something happens to people when he passes by or when he walks into a room. He was like, and it's unlike any other star celebrity out there, period.
Yeah, I mean, like, and you know, to be honest, I liked Mike, but I was more like, I related more to like Scotty and Dennis on those teams. And I was always kind of like, it's almost like a hipster hoop fan. Like I never wanted to have the same favorite player as other people.
Right. Agreed.
But even still, it was just like, yeah, it had that effect. I've been around Kobe. I've met Jason Williams, who's my all-time favorite player. And Shaq, you know, it wasn't the same as Mike. I'd be lying if I said it was, you know?
You ever been to China? Did you ever go over to China for anything shoe related?
Yeah, actually, I studied abroad in China. So I did
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I did a 4-week Asia study abroad in 2008, right before the Olympics. So a week in Japan, in Tokyo, 2 weeks in Beijing, and a week in Shanghai. And man, they love hoops out there.
That's what I was getting at. I've always heard how just hoop crazed it was, and I've always also heard that it's about championships with them. So when you win championships, you kind of extend into another level with that group. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I mean, playing ball at it's called Dadong Park. It's like probably like 20 outdoor courts, like 10 and 10 with like 2 soccer fields in between, and it's Nike's. Wow. It was awesome. All 4-on-4, all ones, losers out. Things a foul.
That's Goffmore shit right there, man.
Yeah,
that's my playground shit. I'm excited. I need to go to China, man.
Dude, you'd be a legend, man. I mean, I'd say my only advice would be like maybe bleach your hair before, because they never seen like a blonde-haired white guy. So like, only, just to be dead ass honest, only time in my life where girls on the street have approached me. I'd love to tell you that happened other places that I had, but
well, let's go.
There was,
I think we can get some cheap flights right about now.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm down to go back. But there was a time where I was shooting hoops by myself, and a whole crowd of people started watching me. And I'd love to tell you, like, if it was now, it's like, well, yeah, maybe I'd be doing some cool shit. But I wasn't very good at this, like, juncture of college, or it's particularly in this moment. But they just had never seen, like, a white guy with blonde hair before. So,
oh man, I used to love, Meyer, you can relate to this. I used to love going to the SRSC at IU against those playing against the foreign exchange students down there. They would like shake your hand after the game if you hit like 3 shots. They loved it.
Oh yeah, no,
they feel good.
Their appetite and love for hoops is like nothing else. The people out there were so sweet. Like, they take the shirt off the back for you. Like, really good people.
So growing up then, I want to get back to Nice Kicks. Let's put a bow on the Nice Kick stuff. You're no longer with them. What was the reasoning for the decision? And then what are you doing now?
The reasoning was I couldn't afford a full-time web editor anymore. So, you know, stuff changes, business changes. So no hard feelings. And I mean, it was definitely, 10 years is a long time. And so there was already feelings, you know, maybe moving on and stuff like that. But yeah, so now I'm doing the freelance writing thing, which I actually really like. It's nice to wake up at 12:30, whether it's a Sunday or Monday.
You don't have to be a dick about that, dude.
What do you mean, Barnett? That's your life right now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, I'll poke a little harder. I'm doing some writing outside of footwork. I'm working for a company called Cali Barbecue Media. It's like a restaurant that turned into a digital agency in San Diego.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I'm doing some writing for them that actually one of my friends through Hoops hooked me up with. And then I'm also doing some stuff, the industry side with footwear with a couple brands. Some of it's behind the scenes, some of it's about to get published. So I don't know what I can and can't say.
Don't incriminate yourself. Don't hurt don't hurt your pockets. Well, nobody's listening to this shit anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, let me know what brand I can't trash on this podcast right now.
This is a safe space for all of us. We're the only four that are ever going to hear it.
Well, and Ty. Yeah, maybe. Ty got 3 kids. He probably even got time for it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, so, you know, just kind of pivoting into some of that stuff. So I'm definitely, one, I want to stay in Austin, which is tough, you know, because, you know, I definitely thank Matt Allison for, if anything great about Nice Kicks other than just all the opportunities and people I got to meet and interview, places I got to hoop, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Brought me down to Austin, Texas. We're on a house now. Brought my sister down here. She owns a place. Like, it was good for that. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to make the move out to Portland and New York one of these days. You know, unless, you know, if 19.9 has an offer on the table, I could head up to Evansville. I know I have a place. I know I have at least one place to stay there. I'm gonna have to double as a babysitter. But
we'll give you $25K. You can live like a king around here.
Yeah.
Hey, I might do it, man. I'm not beyond it.
So still hooping a lot. You still hooping down there?
Oh yeah, probably. Especially with the virus, like, it's all I can do. You know what I mean? Other than like work and like watch every basketball podcast on YouTube and every old game on NBA Classic. Like, yeah, just honestly at the park, getting sunburned because it's already hot out here.
Any games in the parks when you go?
Man, so this cat was like out there with his wife or like, I don't know, baby mama. And I think he was a little drunk too. He's like, hey, you want to play one-on-one?
That's park basketball, man.
Huh?
You got to be drunk.
Yeah, and I was like, in my head, I was like, all right, yeah, to 5. So,
couldn't say no.
I'm undefeated during the virus. I'm beating 5-1. Nice guy. I'll catch him back out there again. Maybe he'll find vengeance. But
I remember this drunk dude at Howe when I was in high school was drunk as shit, man. Drinking 40. He would between points he would walk off to the side, grab a 40 from his baby mom or whatever. I was so scared to guard that dude. He whipped my ass. I didn't want to touch him. Like I got into the game. I had to get out, man. I'm like, I'm gonna take a L here.
Oh yeah, and I couldn't do it. I remember once I had commitments to play and like a date the same night. So I have like 2 old fashions to this day. All right, I got to wrap it up because, you know, I said I was going to go hoop. And I didn't like that at all. Like playing with the buzz.
Not good, man.
Not for me, man. Like,
You just got to do it all the time and then it's fine.
I guess maybe. I don't know.
So I had an interesting thought. I wanted to get everybody's kind of perspective on this, and this is deviating a little bit from you for a minute, Ian. But you're more than welcome to jump in, obviously, because it's on theme with what we're talking about here. But I was on the way into HQ today and every day, basically. It's a 2-man team down here, so we're not spreading the virus. We're kind of isolated. But every day we drive past the park on our way in, and every day there's been games. And I can't tell you, I didn't, right or wrong, whatever, Corona stuff, whatever. It's forcing kids to find something to do. So there's people, and it's been nice weather here, so there's been people outside. And so I started thinking tonight while I was driving in for this podcast, is the coronavirus going to be the reason that people get back into playground basketball? Because the playgrounds around here have been absolutely dead for years. And now they're picking back up, even though we're supposed to be social distancing, whatever. But, thoughts on that? Anybody?
Well, I think until it gets more serious, and it'll work. And certainly while all the organized stuff is shut down, I'm sure people need that outlet.
That's what I was thinking is you can't get into a gym right now. You can't get into a school. You can't get into a workout place if you want to play. But they can't really take down the goals. I did see a goal that had like bricks or blocks or something that were on there. So they were trying to keep people off of the court. But that's some bullshit.
Some caution tape wrapped around it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you shot it, it was just going to hit like a wood block cinder thing and not go in. I know. Serious stuff.
Yeah, to answer, I think it's gonna. I mean, before everything got super shut down, when Nick was in town, we were playing 21 every day, and then playing fours, at a park. And then like that next day or 2 days after was when it was like shut down,
Yeah, it was funny. We were in the Slam offices when it announced that was Wednesday, and they announced that the games that night at the Garden would be the only ones played with fans, and then starting with Thursday's game, nothing. So we started the whole podcast or the introduction. Everybody was shaking hands and shit, and then by the end of it, which was like an hour and a half later, all that news is broke, and so at the end, we're all like tapping elbows, like get it out of there. You know what I mean? And that's how quickly the shit moved.
What sucks too, because it was right around that. So the Tuesday after that Thursday, Nick came in that Saturday. We're playing 21 at the park. Me, Nick, and my buddy Brett. Sunday night. Then Monday, 21 at the park. Me, Nick, and Gabe, who's still at Nice Kicks. And that Tuesday night, we play fours at a church where I got a game at. And like we originally went up early because I like coached some kids literally like a block away from where the game's at, like right before. That got shut down like right when we got there. And we ended up playing, and what sucks is I was saying when we were playing, like, all right, like we're doing elbow taps or whatever else, but I was like, yo, when I'm playing, I did not think about coronavirus once.
Oh, can't.
Not a bit. And that's the best thing about basketball. Like when I'm hooping, I'm not thinking about work. I'm not thinking about girls. I'm not thinking about money, food, whatever. I'm 110% in there. And it sucks to not have that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a mental vacation that can't be replicated. But the flip side too is like the parks have been kind of active in Austin. I mean, people are still, other than if they're playing like one-on-one with their buddy they showed up with, or, the guy who comes off the bench and, taps you and invites you to play, nobody's really doing it like that. Yeah. But I was like, it's going to be sick if once this passes, like, this becomes a place where people actually play fives.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Although I do have the other theory that it's like, I kind of hope everybody I play indoors with isn't playing. So I like super kill them. Yeah. But we'll see.
They probably aren't. I've heard some of the NBA guys aren't even playing. Like Danny Green, he's holed up somewhere on like Manhattan Beach and doesn't even have a hoop at his house. He's got no gym, no nothing.
I mean, his college antics would have taken really well to TikTok.
Yeah, for sure. That dude danced all the time.
Yeah, man, he kind of did a 180 in the league. Yeah, I got a little bit more straight laced, but I mean, he's got rings.
Spurs, man, the Spurs took it out of him.
Tim Duncan,
turn you in.
Dan, go ahead with your question. I heard it.
So who's better, you or Nick?
That's a fair question. So on Sunday night, so 2 weeks ago, 21, me, Nick, and my buddy Brett Pickard. I'll take the first game. Nick takes the next two. I'm trying to think. Basically, Nick won 3-2 out of 5 games. I got the second to last game. I hit a 3-pointer in his face to win it. and then the game after he hit it. So Nick shot the shit out of the ball. I can't be mad. But when we played with Gabe, my buddy who's like 6'4", really good athlete, I got the best of them 3-2. So, you know, Nick and I have the same favorite player in Jason Williams. We both like to give the rock up. But Nick's like 6'3", 6'4". I'm 5'11". I won't say on a good day. I'm 5'11". There's no almost 6 foot, you know, unless I got some really heavy Air Max in the heel. But,
so
720s on.
You are you're younger than me and Meyer. You're probably closer to Dan's age. But we were in college when Jason Williams like burst onto the scene. Okay. And Meyer can probably attest to this, I would assume. But you would go to the Hyper at IU, which had, how many courts did the Hyper have,
10.
Meyer? Like
yeah.
10 full courts back to back. I mean, it was just like a basketball haven, man. It was awesome. And you would go there and you could just stand on the side and look down all 10 courts and say like, okay, that dude loves Jason Williams. That dude on that court over there loves Jason Williams. This guy right here really loves Jason Williams, because they would be throwing like rolled, like underhand full court passes, pulling up from half court, like doing all this crazy shit. Was that you?
Yeah, I mean, if it was me a bit, then it's me for sure now. I mean, I think I've definitely, it's weird. Like I say, probably the best thing that happened in my basketball game is now everybody I play with, for the most part, is older and or wider. And it's the only time in my life where I've ever been one of the better athletes on the basketball court.
Yeah, man.
So,
Father Time's catching up to him.
Yeah, I've kind of evolved like a little bit more Dame Lillard-ish in terms of like kind of lead guard, shooting more and stuff like that. But hell yeah. I mean, it's funny, like when Jay Will came out, I hated him because I watched every NBA draft and Mike Bibby was my favorite player.
Oh, love like, Bibby. Meyer hates Bibby.
Hate him.
And I've interviewed him. He's an awesome dude, so I'm cool on him now. But I was Mike Bibby for Halloween in 5th grade. That's how much I liked Mike Bibby. And it was also because my mom was really like specific on making costumes. She'd make like my Ninja Turtle costumes and all that, like by hand and film. So I was like, dang, maybe she'll actually buy me like the blue Arizona jersey, the phone posits. Like, I just ended up getting like a Grizzlies shooting shirt and like it wasn't that.
Hey, I did see a picture of you balling. You sent it to me maybe. Or no, you were balling something, but you had the old Arizona practice reversible Nike jersey on at least. You might have had the shorts on too. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, it was when I played with Jason Williams camp. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
so
that was
there representing. You had a little bit of Bibby with you representing for Jay Will.
And I mean, I think a lot of us Jason Williams fans kind of resent Bibby a bit, just because some people feel the Bibby Kings teams were better. Which, I mean,
he went on that crazy ass like playoff run where he hit all those clutch shots and stuff and that.
But yeah, it's Team 5-5, you know, all day for me. But yeah, I definitely, yeah, in my heyday, I had some I had a behind the back baseline post entry pass once that somehow magically nutmegged 2 people. That was probably my best pass ever. To my buddy Andy. Andy was like flashing down like the paint, and I just like whipped it behind my back from like the baseline and somehow went through 2 people's legs and layup. But
so getting back to Bibby for a second, because I know you're a big eBayer, because we text each other back and forth quite a bit on stuff, and you sent me an IU Nike Jared Jeffries jersey the other day, and I'm like, dude, I've been watching this thing for 4 days. Like, step your shit up a little bit. But I'm on the hunt for a Bibby Arizona jersey. What are you looking for these days? And how dangerous is this quarantine to be on eBay, man? I gotta like disengage from that shit before I spend
set yourself
all
a
my
budget.
Money. I mean, yeah, the only thing that helps is not having a full-time income for the first time in life. So I'm a little more measured. But it's funny. So I sent you that link. I was in line at the grocery store, like 6 feet beyond the other person. And as soon as you send me that screenshot back, I'm like, fuck, He's probably watching that same Georgetown reverse practice jersey.
Hell yeah, I am. I am. I haven't been on it.
Once I got that screenshot from you that you're watching it, I go, I can't play on this, and I made him an offer, and it'll be in the mail this week.
Oh, so you got it. You got it.
Yeah, I knew it was. Yeah, I knew there was likely other eyes on it, and I was just like,
we're getting dangerously close to having Georgetown licensing with 19.9 too. So I've been lighting up some Georgetown shit on eBay, watching stuff. I actually have a duffel bag above my head down here. That's a Georgetown, but yeah, I did see that practice jersey. Those practice jerseys are so dope, man. I still have the Duke one from like back in the day. I got the shorts and everything down here too. So, what else you in the hunt for? Is there anything you can give away?
Man, I mean, that was like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna be good. Like, I'm gonna chill. And then I like sell what I sell. I sold an old refrigerator and old washer dryer on Facebook. I had to like reactivate Facebook, which is an awful place to be. I mean, LinkedIn, I think, is the only worst place in the world. And so now that I have some money, I'm trying to think. I mean, I've been getting dumb stuff. Like, I got some, like, Evisu jean shorts that I'm going to, like, cut or dye or something like that.
There we go.
I was like, okay, well, because that's the tough thing. Like, you kind of – I don't think I'd ever wear – unless it's a practice jersey, like a college jersey with college shorts, like, and then you can wear another one or whatever.
Only Mr. Throwback can get away with that shit these days.
Yeah, he's in a league of his own, that man.
He's in a league of his own. You are correct. You are correct. So what's the shoe closet look like in your place down there in Austin? How many pairs do you think?
I can show you if you want to see.
Yeah, you gotta describe it. You gotta describe it. Like, Dan's geeking out. We don't have to see him to know he wants to see that shit.
Oh,
but you also have to show it to us, and you have to describe it because people that are listening to this can't see it, but we can see it.
I'll describe it as I walk up. I'll carry the laptop. I'll describe it as I walk up.
Let's go.
See how good of a storyteller.
Calm down, Dan.
So the shoe closet. Well, one, there's like four shoe closets, but
okay.
The main one is set up. It's kind of like a boutique. So it's like shoes on shelves, jerseys hung up, and then like kind of special items to the side of it. So I have like closets for like shoes actually hooping, running shoes, dress shoes, and stuff like that.
What are you hooping in right now?
Shoot. Indoor, Jordan 34, PG4, Kobe 9, LeBron 17 for a while. I played in those in the Nike Media Run at All-Star, which my team won. Yeah, it was fun.
I'm loving the PG4s right now.
They're good, right?
Yep. Love them.
What size are you?
So this is wall one. I don't really know how to do all that. This is where it probably gets more interesting.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
That's a solid jersey selection.
Yeah,
that
man.
Jordan shirt's sweet.
Yeah, I was gonna wear the AI Georgetown jersey. I feel like that's the jersey that like nobody has and everybody has.
Well, there's a lot of bootlegs out there, man. Like eBay's flooded with bootleg. Now you have the authentic. The one you just showed us the authentic, right? That's stitched.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's crazy good, and those are really expensive on eBay. I got the screen printed one that I was wearing when we were in New York for the Big East stuff. But that one's dope too. But what's that?
What size did you get in it?
I got a large in that because it doesn't come in like the 44, 48. That's the authentics. So I got a large and it fits pretty good. But I could stand to lose a few lbs. You know what I mean?
So I had a large and it was too small, so I gave it to Darren. And then I had a 2X and it was too big, so I gave it to Nick. So I guess I got to get like so. This be the shoe that started it all.
Diagnosis.
Yeah, I was in the size 12 in third grade. I'm actually still I'm 11, but yeah, there's some. This is the one you said you're looking for?
Yes, sir. But I don't want the authentic. I want the screen print.
Yeah, this is Scream.
Oh, is it? It looks
Yeah.
a little authentic. He's holding up the Bibby Arizona jersey for those of you that can't see.
I guess 1909.
There you go.
And
So the whole time you were walking with your laptop there and you were taking us up to your closet, I was looking for security cameras and figuring out how I'm going to break into your house and steal all this
Yes.
shit.
man, I was figuring out how I was gonna talk and keep my breath. Rip.
So, hey, pull out that North Carolina jersey again.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
about to-
Ed Cota.
Yeah, copping that one, but I know him as Jeff McGinnis. That's the Jeff McGinnis jersey for me.
Didn't he like knock down one of the assistant coaches' wives or something?
I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I know he got knocked down by a Randolph Childress crossover.
Fair. Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. Rip. What else we got in terms of college ones? Jameson.
There you go. So what's your favorite of all of them?
Hey.
Man, great question.
He's wearing the Clit Alameen, Connecticut jersey.
Yeah, that
interview.
was. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it took me like probably 10, 15 years to find it. Like I asked for it in Christmas for 6th grade, and then I took it off my list for Aeropostale shirt instead.
Oh, tough.
Yeah,
tough.
I wanted.
That didn't age well.
Yeah, no.
Where's that shirt at?
Bad Decision Hall of Fame somewhere.
So do you have any shoes you don't wear?
That's a great question. Trying to think if there's anything in here that's dead stock, so to speak.
Yeah.
Man, I don't think so. I wear everything. Like
So I respect the shit out of that, right? Because the new age sneakerhead, quote unquote sneakerhead, I kind of hate that term, but whatever. The new age sneakerhead, they just buy them and they put them in boxes and it becomes a museum thing. Like, I mean, I beat my shoes to shit. I mean, I take care of them, but I'm gonna wear them regardless. Like, I got the Union ones on right now, and I don't give a shit if it's a thunderstorm out there. If I want to wear the things, I'm gonna wear them.
yeah, I mean that's how it's got to be. Oh, I guess I don't know if I have a favorite jersey, but this is the favorite shoe for sure. And that's
Yeah, the
because
bones.
Composites.
because Bibby.
Those are
But,
legit. Yeah, that Arizona run in those was nasty.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy too. I met at a meeting with the intern, dude Joe Schwartz. He hooped at UT. Real good dude. And when I went to meet him for the meeting to see if he wanted to intern, I ran into Miles Simon at the Starbucks
Oh, nice.
and like talked to him like for like 10 minutes about, you know, the foams and how they got them and stuff like that. Really nice dude. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
small world.
His sister married Daryl Strawberry too.
Yeah, I've seen that on a Google, I guess.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's one of Gottlieb's best friends, isn't it? They
Yeah,
were playing
it is.
together. Yeah.
Yep, it is.
Because I remember when he talked to
Shout out
Yeah.
to Doug Gottlieb for wearing our Big E shirt the other day. That was nice of him. Okay, so if people want to, let's get a plug in here for you as we wrap this thing up. But we'd love to have you back on if you're willing to come back on in the future.
Oh, for sure, I'm down. Yeah, I got nothing going on. Even about
Yeah,
shit,
well.
I would.
We'll try to get better on the technical aspect, or we'll just cut.
No,
we'll
we
cut
won't.
Dan out of this shit altogether.
Yeah.
I hate you guys.
Only one of those things is true, Dan.
Yeah.
But if people need some freelance work, how they get a hold of you, what's the best way to contact you, set something up?
Man, great way to plug that. Guess it's ian.stonebrook@gmail.com. I mean, you can definitely DM me on Instagram at Ian Stonebrook. One of the things I'm kind of learning and figuring out now is like I was never a self-promoter because I never had to be. You know, we had like 3.6 million followers at Nice Cake.
Nice.
So if somebody didn't see my stuff, it was somebody else's fault. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I'm not on like LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook like that. So that probably ain't it. But DM me on Instagram or email me the email set, or I'll hit up Josh, get my phone number. I'm easy to talk to. So I'm all down to write.
I will give out that phone number for $5 PayPal, and I'll set that up for you guys.
Now we're even.
Sent right now.
Hey, regardless, one last thing. Regardless, nice kicks, no nice kicks. We gotta do a pair of shorts together at some point for some cause, some reason, something.
Cause we want to get buckets. Yeah, I mean, I'm with it.
Playground hoops, man. You need to get him on that playground hoops idea.
Yeah, we can talk about that for sure. I got some big plans.
Some Ty Swisher, navy and orange North Montgomery camp shorts.
I gotta get back on the golf course with that dude soon, man.
Yeah.
We gotta open this quarantine shit up so I can golf again with him.
Yeah, he's like 120 pounds now. I want to see if he can still hit a ball far.
I probably haven't seen him since the weight loss, to be honest. It's been a while. Like, it was last summer, so he must have went on a crazy diet.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I know he can still really golf, man. He was always such a good natural athlete. Like, incredible, really. For one guess, yeah.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you joining, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
I'm with it. Hey, thanks. It's nice meeting y'all.
Later, man. Stay safe out there.
Hey, thanks, man.
Hey, y'all too. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the 19.9 podcast with HVS, the High Volume Shooters. For more information, check out the blog at 199.com under HVS. And while you're there, do yourself a favor and pick up some retro college shorts. Till next time.